wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Salsa Abdullah Ismail with student ID number 221073-2002, and I would like to present my understanding in the chapter of material introduction to critical discourse analysis and critical discourse studies. And in this case, basically there's a definitions about what is critical discourse analysis and what is critical discourse studies. So it's basically critical discourse analysis is how do we use language, and how do we use language in a social context that related to the issues such as social, political, race, and something like that. And what is the differentiate between critical discourse analysis and critical discourse studies? Basically, critical discourse study, or CDS, an expanding form of a CDA itself, and it's becoming an interdisciplinary that expand a research movement in school or field, which is study language and other semiotics system in the use of a variety of approaches. What and what the purpose, the objective in this, uh, the purpose of this CDN or CDS basically is to 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 examine critically the relationship between the language used and people who created it and use it in the context of social political structure, practice, economies, basically something like that. So what the analytic in critical discourse trying to find is the underlying meanings of the text. So the implicatures. So as we already learned in pragmatic, we try to find what is the outer imply. So for example, when we try to when we are reading something, an essay or paper, we determine the use of language in which this language, what 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 the function of this language used for. It is it to imply the power and the ideology of this ideology, or it is to imply the power of this government, or it is to imply the power of society itself, or it is to imply this new ideology or something like that. So basically every text has its own ideology. So if we become a basically critical discourse analysis, we basically could see the implied ideology on that. For example, uh, when you when you are try when you are wait what kind of when you are reading Karl Marx essay, so it's basically you are Karl Marx essay. So in that case, you basically found his ideology is Marxism. So basically from Karl Marx's use of language, the kind of language that he used are preferred to to support the Marxist ideologies. Or maybe some things like, if you are reading the novels by like Albert Camus, Fyodor Dostoevsky, or Franz Kafka, three of them basically have this kind of writings that support this ideology of absurdism. Because, well, as you can see, I'm basically focusing on Franz Kafka, and what did I imply in this is how he used language to describe, to explore this kind of absurd fate of life that the main character have to suffer, that the main character have to face in his everyday life. For example, in his novel The Trial, so we basically did not giving any exact reason why the main character getting jailed for, and suddenly he was punished, and even at the end of the novel the main character dies. The readers, the writing itself did, did not getting any clue what kind of crime did the main character did. So it's basically this main character have no idea what he doing, and he getting jailed by that thing. So that's the absurdist ideologies that Franz Kafka tried to imply in in his writing. How does life treat us absurdly? And that is also implied to the myth of Sisyphus by Albert Camus. So because in that case, it's basically about a Sisyphus that have to push push the stone, the giant stone, over and over again. When it falls, he have to push it over again, and that fall again, he had to push it again, and that circle is cycling on that. So based on that case, we can actually know which language used to imply the ideology. And it also can be another example. uh, so no, I know, I mean, so from this point of view, so basically because we know that in which language can be used to imply power and ideology, it is also making discourse can reflect social patterns such as domination, dehumanization, exploration, naturalization, discrimination. For example, because I'm a literature student, so I'm basically just going to collect in literature. So, for example, the humanization. In the films, in the novel of The Great Gatsby, it's in the Marxist theory. In the Marxist theory, it's basically when you are thinking something, for example, this pen. So when you're thinking about this pen, you're probably going to think, how many price is this pen cost? But you cannot think who did this, who made this. Basically, that's the humanization, as far as I remember. So basically discourse can reflect social pattern as domination. Basically domination, for example, in the novel of Hunger Games, we can we can see that how the capital government basically taking over the dominations over the 12 districts all over the country. And there is also another example, that is exploitation. Exploitation, well, basically we do know that's colonization, basically an exploitation. They bring some of the foreigner to the country to learn, and they uh in the bubble by R.F. Kuang's novel, basically that is the exploitation. The background itself is the exploitation. So, well, I think that is the example as far as I know, and that is how did I imply to literature studies. And basically critical discourse studies can be implied in interdisciplinary courses. Linguistic, you can also we could imply it in linguistic, sociology, and literatures. And for basically the example in the material has been given in three essays, but I could not really understand what those are. So I'm trying to imply it in literature words. And when I try to imply in literature words, I kind of get it. I kind of get the point, and that is why I try to explain it also in literature's example, because that is how I understand those things. But basically, if I made any mistake, I probably gonna realize it when Mr. Hanafi explain it in the classroom. So I think basically that is all from my explanation for today's introduction to critical discourse analysis and critical discourse studies. I hope you guys understand. Thank you so much. Wabillahi taufiq walhidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.